Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. This is my update number 306. Today is Saturday, November 4th. November already, 2023. So this is a channel about cross-stitch, and we're going to start talking about it now. First of all, I want to talk about our Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative. We have a couple of updates for that. Eve had started to make this quilted project bag and had set it aside for various reasons and forgotten about it. And when she was looking for this other fabric, she came across these mostly finished project bags, and so she finished them. So the first one is this sort of camping fabric. It's a summer pattern. There's campers and flowers with campers and things like that. And then the other side is more of the same, but it's a quilt pattern that she had come across, but it's got these little campers. And there's a project notions pouch that goes with it and has that little polka dot fabric. And I think that's also the fabric that's on the inside, is that white little polka dot thing. If I remember correctly. Yeah, that's that white polka dotty. They're not exactly polka dots, they're like little diamonds, squares, whatever. But she had seen this quilt pattern and then did it diagonally on there with the other fabrics. So that's why that's there. And this has a camper charm on it. Let me turn it around the right way. Oh, and there's something else. There's a little star or sun or something there. I don't know where that's from. But anyway, there's this camper. And then the notions pouch matches. It's it's upside down because of the way the little chevrons were. She wanted the diagonal lines to go down, not up. So that means these campers are upside down, but that's on purpose, I guess. And this also has this little camper charm on it. Here. So anyway, there's a camping set. It'll be in our Etsy shop very soon. I don't think it's there now as of Saturday morning, but it'll be in there soon. And then the other one is so like that's an older design where she was putting the zipper on top, and I think now she's putting the zipper on the front. So she made this other bag. It's little peppermint swirls, and she has these candy canes on the bottom, and I think that's the fabric that's on the inside, is this candy cane fabric also. Yeah, that's the black candy cane fabric that's on these handles. And so this is the regular, more traditional pattern style. Like I said, the other one is quilted. This one is not quilted, but it's just the regular fabric type. And it has these big peppermint charms on there. So that's the project bag and the matching notions pouch. It also has that black fabric on the inside. And this one also has a peppermint charm on there. So anyway, those are our latest additions to the Etsy shop. They like I said, if they're not, I know they're not in there right now as of 12 o'clock or 12:30ish today on Saturday, but they will be up in the Etsy shop Etsy shop shortly. Now, the shop is Three Sisters Creative. If you go and look on Etsy, that'll be in there in the next day or two, I think, by the end of the day or by tomorrow, something like that. So anyway, that's our Etsy shop update. For now, let me put these over here, so I don't want to get them tangled up here. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah, okay. So, what have I been doing lately? A little bit of cross stitches. It was the end of October, and I had shown this little Praiseworthy Stitches ornament kit was almost done, I think, last week when I showed it. So the kit came with all the stuff here to finish it, the ornament disc thing, and the orange rickrack, and the black ribbon to make a bow. And I think when they did it, they tea-dyed the fabric that came with the kit, which is just an off-white natural linen, and they just had tea-dyed it a little bit to make it darker. But I chose not to do that, partly because I'm lazy. And yeah, mostly just because I'm lazy. I just wanted to start it, and I didn't want to wait to tea-dye it and everything. So, so this is mine. And the one thing I did add was this little wand, because her hand was up, up like this. Her little arm and her hand was up in the air, and that was all there was to it. So I just added a little wand with backstitching the red. And I also gave her a little smile. It's a little bit big and, kind of clumsy and weird. But I thought this in the picture, she almost looks like she's frowning. So I just made a little smile. And I did colonial knots here in all of these instead of French knots for the bats. Excuse me a minute. Sorry. But yeah, so that's Praiseworthy Stitch. And I didn't FFO it, in time for Halloween or anything like that. But it'll be there next year. Hopefully, maybe. So anyway, I did that. Last weekend. I started last Friday and finished it Saturday night, I think, something like that. And then, so I still had a few days left in October, and one of the things I did was, this is the little bat little brown bat that I started for October, and this is by Cottage Garden Samplings, their Year in the Woods series. So there's 12 of them, and this is number 10, the little brown bat. And so I didn't do any more on the bat, but I finished I did the border. So I finished it because this is where the next one will go, into the November Year in the Woods pattern, which is the Beaver. So I did the border to start, so I could start the Beaver. And I'll do a left-hand corner start, so I'll start up here. There's that Beaver. Big and plump. So I guess, yeah, these are the Beaver's back feet and back here. Yeah. His tail with that pretty design on it. So, but I'll probably just get the, the tree in it and not, I don't know if I'm going to get to the actual Beaver or not in these patterns. But I had a little bit of math prices in doing this, because I know that the border across here is 26 of these little sets of 4, and then the middle the border in between each of the patterns goes on the 4th stitch of this, which is a 26th set of 4, right? So you do 26 sets of 4, and the vertical pattern border starts here, and then it goes back to 26 sets of 4. So I have the verticals, on each of these. And I was looking at the first one where when I designed the border with all these patterns in mind. And on the first one, this pattern, the next set of 4 goes out 1 stitch, right? So then they're 100 squares across and 130 down, the patterns. And so I had done it so that I could put the start the pattern, which starts right in the corner of the chart. So I could start the chart, the actual pattern, like 1 square in and 1 square down from the border, so that it wouldn't touch the border in any way. And I kind of think I was thinking this border came in instead of going out, right? So the pattern is 2 squares in, because I was thinking, okay, well, the down, the next set of 4 will be in 1, and then this one, I'm like, wait, is it in or out? So I don't know. I think I might have to do the borders on all of these to make sure that they're in the correct place. But anyway, so this is going to be where the beaver goes in this space when I get to it eventually, which will be probably maybe around 13 days in, because I'm going to do 6 days on one WIPGO project and 6 days on the other. And so around, depending on how it falls, and I might do an extra day or 2 on those the 2 WIPGO whips before I do my new starts. So maybe around the 13th, 14th, something like that of November, I'll be doing my new starts. And then I still have to do, FFO, my FFO, scheduled FFOs, finally finished objects, for those who might wonder what the lingo is. So the other thing I did was I finished the border. I did have a finish. Sorry, I don't think I had finished it Saturday, but I finished the second in this Black Cat season series by Lindy Stitches, by Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. So I had started, this is for her, she designed it, the Black Cat season charts. There are 6 individual charts, so you can, stitch them individually. Excuse me 1 minute. Or you can do them, in any configuration you want. And she has some free border patterns on her website. But she had it finished as a bell pull, right? So all the designs one after the other. So that's the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it more or less the way she did. I have some polka dot fabric that's very much like this, if not exactly like this. I don't think I'll put the fabric in between I know I'm not going to put the fabric in between the designs, but I want to do a full length, bell pull. And I don't think I have, I think I mentioned this before, that I have not found a tutorial on how to do a bell pull exactly. But so if anybody has any information about that, I've seen a lot of wall hanging things and sort of things that use a hanger like the what you would use for a bell pull or a wall hanging, one of those metal hanging pieces, whatever. So I'm still thinking that thinking it through, kind of. But anyway, so the first in the series was Midnight Walker. So it says Midnight Walker Shadow Stalker. And I did that. I finished that. a while back. And then Black Cat Singing in the Dead of Night. Black Cat Singing is this pattern. And this is the one I finished last time. After I had talked to you, I think when I talked to you, I was working on the fence. Last week, I was working on this fence. So I finished the fence, and I did a little border in between all the pieces, so that the next one I'm going to do as another one of my new starts for November is this one called Blackest Cat. May the blackest cat you've ever seen make you smile on Halloween. So in this one, I'm anticipating it should be relatively easy because you have the 3 black cat faces at the top, and then this is all lettering, and then there's a few little stars along the pattern here, and then cat feet and tail, and these little orange, this little orange line here in between them. So it should. I'm anticipating that it should go quickly. So this is what I have so far. Like I said, I haven't started the third one yet, but I've made the preparations. So pardon the wrinkles, but there's the first one, the Midnight Walker, and I did one of the border patterns up here, Meow, and then Midnight Walker Shadow Stalker, and I did another border pattern here, and then Black Cat Singing I did there. So I finished the fence, and now I did all the little stars and music notes, and then I did a third border here. And I only used these 3 borders. So this one, this Meow, I'm going to put at the end. But, so I used this border pattern and this border pattern. And I think just those 3. So like I said, the Meow is 1 and, yeah, so this is 1 and 2. Yeah, and I think I just used those 2 patterns, those 2, this one and this one. And because the other ones were, there was one that was kind of like just like this, these little, you know, they were just geometric patterns without any cats on them, and I decided I wanted to do the cat ones. Anyway, so yeah. So I've done 2 of the 6 patterns. And when I finish this one, it'll be halfway done. But so anyway, that's how I prepared the thing to do the third pattern in that series. And these are all, like I said, are from Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. And then, so I worked on my one of my whips for WIPGO. This is Peacock by Nicola Gregory for Design Works. And it was a kit from probably Hobby Lobby or Joann's or something. But it came with white Aida and then all the threads, which are, I think they're DMC equivalents, basically. It probably came with a needle too. But I did dye the kit fabric. I just dyed it. It kind of washes out almost white, but it's kind of a pinky purpley color that goes. Oh, and I'm holding it upside down. That goes with this, with the purples and blues, and there's some greens and other things of the peacock's feathers and the peacock itself. But so I worked on the bottom area, the tail feathers of the peacock down here, and because I'm basically a kind of a color completist, if I've got a color out, I want to do everything that I can find in that color or whatever. But the problem was, and I want to look at the. Hang on 1 second. Yeah. And the problem I had was that there are a lot of shades that are basically the same. And so when I was starting out on this project, I was trying to decide, because I had done these other, wait, I'm holding this wrong there. The various things. I had done this purple and this very dark blue and this medium blue. I'd done a lot of those, and so I was trying to decide, well, do I want to do, this symbol or that symbol? And it's funny because I have I made some working copies from the actual, I have a copy of the actual pattern, but then I made some working copies so that I could, I use a colored pencil and scribble on them. So this is the chart of the symbols, right? So I had done this symbol, these that have the colored pencil coloring on them. So I had done all these things, and so I was trying to decide whether I wanted to do this symbol, this blue, or this symbol, which is the pale blue. And so I went back and forth deciding, what to do on the pattern. And so I was going back and forth between, like I said, this blue or this blue. And I finally decided I would do the symbol for this one, which is this line here. But I ended up using this color. I didn't look at the picture, I was just looking at the chart. And so I had the chart for, I was looking at the symbols for this color, but I was using this color. And I had done, I do a loop start usually. And so I pulled the one thread with the six pieces to it. I pulled that thread out and I did all of the things, all of the individual, threads. So 6 strands I had gone through and got all of this stuff done. And as you can see, it's not that darker blue. It's this pale blue, because I got to the end of it and I went to do the next color and I realized, oh, I did it wrong. I used the wrong color for that symbol. So I took it all out. All of it. And so it was this part here and here and here and here, all the way around this one. Took it all out. And then redid it with this paler blue like it was supposed to be. And if you look at the picture, yeah, it's supposed to be this paler blue all the way around. Yeah, and the dark blue is it's supposed to go in the center here, like the center of this one and the center of that one. Yeah. So like I said, the we always say, both my sisters and I, anything worth doing is worth doing twice. So yeah. So right now I'm working on this lighter color, and I think where am I? Up here now. Yeah, working on it here. This whole segment here is that lighter color. So I'm hoping I can finish all of that. And then what I like to do, and it just kind of depends on, I was looking at a pattern that's no clear path up there necessarily, but I would like to work my way up a little bit so that the peacock part up here, so it shows up in the pattern, because like I said, it looks like a whole lot of, flowery somethings. You can't really tell that it's supposed to be a peacock. So I would like to do the peacock head, body, the peacock itself up here somewhere, at least part of it, so that it just, partly because I'm a little, not exactly bored, but I want to do something a little different. So I'd like to get more of the peacock in there, more of the actual peacock, so that I can get up in here. I'd love to do this green and just do the head. It's a lot of backstitching, in all of these things up here especially. Down here I don't think there's any backstitching, but up here in these individual things there are the feathers. There's a lot of backstitching up here, and then up here around the peacock's body. So but I'd also like to do this darker blue that just to finish that. Well, and actually, if I like for a lot of these, I think the darker blue would basically finish the little swirl, the feather, and there's like a few stitches around here, and then so I kind of want to finish that. So I might do actually 7 days to make up for the really I spent the better part of a day that I would have been stitching, pulling stitches out, unstitching. Yeah. So there's that. And so I haven't gotten to any of my other projects. I usually when I'm working on something like this, I get fairly monogamous. I do have a secret project I'm working on. With Christmas coming up, I've been trying to think through what I have that I don't necessarily want to do an all stitchy Christmas, because I have people family members that I give gifts to that probably wouldn't want something stitchy, and I don't want to give people foist something on people that they don't want to have, or that's not going to be something that they like or whatever. I want to be a little more thoughtful about what I do for Christmas, and just. But so I have a couple of things though that I want to do, but I have so much stuff. I just trying to decide, and also what I have time to do and whatever. So that's it's that time of year that it's a little I want to, if I'm going to stitch something, if I'm going to start something, or do I have something that is appropriate that I could like FFO and send it out or whatever, or what maybe like some kind of not a scissor fob, but something along those lines, maybe for certain family members, maybe even like a bracelet or something, because I've got tons of beads and findings and stuff like that, so I might be able to finish something that way. I don't know. It's like I said, it's kind of getting to be that time of year that if I'm going to craft something for anybody, then I have to think about it now, because it's November, and making sure I have time to do whatever I'm going to do, and I'm still working on all these WIPGO things, and like I said, I'm still trying to think through what I want to do for next year's WIPGO. And like I said, I think I mentioned it last week that Pam Schaefer of Just Keep Stitching, the Pam and Steph, Pam is doing 24 new starts in 2024, right? And if I do my same WIPGO idea, that with two new starts every month, or every square of the WIPGO board, that would mean I have 25 new starts in 2024. So I have 24 new starts plus one, unless I do a free space, which I could do, and not do a new start for one of the squares. Then I would still have 24 and 24 in 2024. So I might go ahead and do that just by default, just because I'm already doing it. But so I just want to, I have so much stuff. I kind of want to see if I can possibly make a list of some, because I am kind of a list maker. I used to be, and I think at some point I did start to make a list on, in Excel of all my patterns, and I at some point I just kind of got a little overwhelmed because I have so much now, so much stuff. Stash, was it Sable? Stash acquired beyond life expectancy. Yeah. So excuse me. Sip of a lovely beverage. Anyway, so I would like to do that, but all my cross-stitch stash stuff is in my room, and my computer is not in my room. And so that means that in order to make that list, to make such a list, it would be easier if I had all my cross-stitch stuff right next to my computer, but I don't really have room right next to my computer to have, everything out there. So maybe I'll have to do it in dribs and drabs, kind of like, here's a chunk of things I can enter in the computer now. And actually I have thread stash on my tablet, and I try to, like, if I buy a bunch of new patterns or something like that, to enter them in thread stash and put, and you can put on the status as like not started or in progress or completed or whatever, and it has a place for you to put like all the fabrics that are, all the threads that are called for this design, and the size of the design, the designer, the title of the chart, whatever. And so I've tried to put the things in there as I've required them, but I know there are things that are patterns that aren't in there, that I got and was just too lazy to sit down and go through them all and stick them all in there. But I feel a little more comfortable putting them all in an Excel list, because I feel like that way I can see them better, I guess. I don't know what it is. Yeah. So that's an ongoing sort of pie in the sky kind of project. But I would like to do it, just because I feel like I have a little more wiggle room in Excel, because then I could, I can make whatever columns I want to make about, like, comments on them or considerations or something like that. I don't know. That's one of my niggling things that's in the back of my mind, going, maybe I should do that. That because one of the things that happened last year, and I want to prevent it from happening now. I'm a little wary. I'm participating in the Jingle Ball next month. I've talked about that before. It's the first weekend of December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And so I'm participating in that, and there are Jingle Ball exclusives from the 12 designers that are going to be a part of the Jingle Ball. So I want to do that. And there's also going to be, I don't know if it's an ornament book or something like that, that you can buy that there as well. So I'm wanting to think to like not necessarily buy all of the exclusives, but look at those exclusives to shop for, because then the designers would also have, as part of the shop, anything else of theirs. So like if they did a Christmas pattern, it'll be in there or something like that. And so what I did last year is I ended up buying at least two that I already had. That was one of the things that I did as a giveaway recently. And so I'm a little wary, of like, especially because I have a subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. And what happened with like one of the patterns, Santa's Young Buck, was it was on that Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, like on the cover of like the year before. And of course, since it had been a year, then it was Teresa Kogut was able to release it then as a pattern open to the public, right? Outside of the magazine. So I already had it on the magazine, and then I bought it, at the Jingle Ball. So I'm like, what Christmas patterns do I already have, or what patterns do I already have, so that I don't buy them again at the Jingle Ball when I sit down. So I'm like, maybe I should just restrict myself to the exclusives, because then those would not be, out in the public already, right? If they're exclusive to the Jingle Ball. So if maybe I need to restrict myself to buying within the confines of that list, and then maybe whatever that ornament book or whatever is, and but like I said, I don't even know what I have. I have so much stuff. I don't even know what I have. So and I feel like I could see it better if it was all in an Excel list, because then I would have it. I don't know. It's easier for me to look at than on the Thread Stash little screen, because I don't know. It's different. I don't know. The only problem for me is that I don't sit at my computer as much as I used to. Once upon a time, well, like when I was working, I was on the computer all the time, and at home I was on the computer all the time for various other reasons. And so, it was very easy for me to look at a list like that. Now, it's easy for me to print off a list like that. But then, of course, it's not live like it is on the computer, where you can, manipulate it, add to it, take away from it, whatever. But yeah. Anyway, so that's one of my dilemmas. But so I'm so my upcoming plans are to finish the Peacock. I have, what did I start out on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today's the fourth day. So Sunday and Monday and maybe Tuesday, I'll work on the Peacock. And then I have on the balcony the one of my two cats. The only problem is I took all the threads out of that project bag for that project. And fortunately I had most of them in one place, and I was able to get most of the threads for that. But there are some that are that I still have to hunt down. I think that the two main colors that I'm working with right now are already I found, so I can continue on those while I look for any other colors that I might be able to get to from where that are nearby where I'm working, so that I'm not counting really far out to use a new one of the other colors or whatever. So I'm hoping that I can, like, get a lot done in the few days of or working on that. But anyway, that's my rambling about my upcoming plans. But yeah, so I think, oh, one thing I wanted to mention, I've been wanting to mention this for a couple of weeks and I keep forgetting to do it, is one of my viewers, Sharon Metcalf, O2B Purple, is the channel that she had. She was making floss tubes under that name, O2B Purple, I believe. And so she had done like a lot of, she did cross stitching, and she talked about her garden and various other things like that. But she had a big, I don't know if it's Heaven and Earth, but it was a full coverage piece of a stormtrooper that she was doing. So it was very big. And she actually finished that. But anyway, so she hadn't done, I guess, a floss tube in a while under that name, but she has a friend now that she's working with. She has a new channel. The two of them are making floss tubes, and the name of the channel is Flossifers. And so I think they just recently released their 4th video on that. I'm not sure, but so anyway, so check that out if you haven't checked it out already. If you've followed O2B Purple, Sharon Metcalf, she, like I said, she's got that new floss tube channel, and I think her old one also, the way I understand it. So anyway, keep an eye out for that. And I think that's all I have for now. Yeah. So so I will see you next week. Hopefully I will have finished my 6 or 7 days on Peacock and have started on the balcony piece, and see if I've done any more on my new starts or whatever. So until then, I will see you then. And oh well, I'm going to the symphony tonight, so that'll be fun. Okay, so I'll see you next week. And until then, thanks for watching, and just happy stitching. Bye.